Hi, I'm Rob Howard. I'm the founder of CanadaStockFootage.com. In this video, I'll give you 7 tips for making a scary horror movie intro. Okay, let's get scary. And if you want to jump ahead and you want to see the final project, the final edit, just go to the link in the description below and click on Final Edit. Secondly, I should mention I'm editing in DaVinci Resolve. It's an incredible piece of software. I'm using the paid version, the studio version. However, there's an incredible free version as well. You can download that also using the link in the description below. Now, if you're making a scary film intro for a film that's already been shot, obviously you have content to work with. But in this case, we're going to assume that you're using stock footage to make your scary film intro. Now, my big tip here is to not spend money on stock footage that you don't end up using. Now, the way around this is to download a low-res comp of the clips you're thinking of using. So we can go to pretty much any stock footage site. Here we are on Pond 5, and you'll see you can download a preview right here. Same thing on dissolve.com. You can download a comp. And on our own Canada stock footage, we would just click download preview. You can see it downloading, and there it is. We've got a low res watermarked version of the clip that we can test in our project. Now, my second tip is around music. Now, it might feel a bit like I'm jumping ahead here, but I'm going to assume that you've got your clips together and now you're looking for the right track. So my preferred place to buy music is Pond 5. I like it because they've got a great selection, and in their subscription deal for music and sound effects, it's $30 a month for 10 items, which I think is a pretty good value. So, I was looking for a track actually, so here's a sneak preview of the clips I'm using in my scary intro. And the idea is it's a scary forest. The title of the film is going to be called Lost in the Forest, and these are all shot with a drone up near Minden in Ontario, Canada. And I wanted it to culminate with this clip right here. You can see this is a descending drone shot that's slowly tilting up. So it's kind of got this feeling of looming dread. And I wanted a track that kind of matched that. So in Pond 5, I went to music. And I think I just typed in scary music. Like this. And what's great is then you can audition different tracks. You just go through them. Yeah, I mean, that's scary. That's nice and discordant. I actually settled on a track. I think it's this one. It was called Horror Suspense Builder. Right there, this one. So it really seemed to match the feeling of the looming tree, especially at the end. So that was the track I chose. So again, I would say audition several tracks, and again, you can download a free comp version of any track on Pond 5. If you go to see item details, download preview, and then it will download a preview of the track. So my next tip is about color correction. We're really looking for a unified look across all the shots, so nothing really sticks out or looks out of place. So you'll notice in the footage of the tree, this was quite an overcast day, which was great. I mean, it gives a great look. But if you look down here, it's really dark. You can imagine if you were in that forest, it would be quite dark. There's no sun in the sky. So I had a bit of a challenge because I had some footage here. This was shot in Algonquin on a canoe trip. But it was running through the forest, but you can see it's pretty sunny. This is a sunny day. So try as hard as I could. I couldn't make this clip fit with the other clips. I mean, I tried pulling down the highlights. No matter what I did, it just was... I tried everything. I mean, I even tried inverting the clip to make it look, you know, freakish, like invert the color right like that. But it was goofy. So I actually went out and I shot a clip on a fairly overcast day, but it's better. It's got a gloomier feeling. So it's important that, you know, you have to imagine that like this might be the way the forest would look if you were in this dark forest. Another clip I color corrected was this one. This is a scary looking skull on the forest floor. But again, I was like, okay, if you're in this dark forest, this skull is looking too light and too bright. So in order for it to fit in, I just brought the midtones down. So now it's looking like, okay, yeah, this is like a dark forest, and it's nice because it actually has the effect of making the white skull pop. So you're looking to make every shot look as though it belongs in the edit. So tip number 4 is editing techniques. So in the realm of horror, keeping the audience unsettled is everything. So there's a couple of editing techniques I've used in the intro which help do that. So this one's pretty simple, but it's effective. I guess you would call it a bit of a temporal time shift with the zoom and color inversion. So let's see what that looks like. But it kind of gives you a ghostly, unsettled feeling. So pretty simple to do. Let's just go into this clip right here. Basically, I'm taking a chunk of the clip, something like that. Gonna move it forward. So I've taken it from there and I'm moving it forward in time. So already you can see there's a little jog there. The next thing I'm going to do is we're going to do this little zoom. So let's see, I think we'll start tight and come out. So green is the starting position and red is where it ends up. So let's see this. Yep. So you're giving an unsettled feeling. I actually might move that back a bit. Oh, maybe it was good where it was. And I think actually it's a bit extreme, so let's try this. Yeah, I think that's a little better. And then we will go to color correction and we will just invert the color. And yeah, you can see you've kind of got this really cool, I mean, it's looking a little purple, so what I would do is desaturate this. And you've actually got kind of a beautiful image right there. But it looks good when you play it in the timeline. So that's the idea. And of course, another classic horror technique is the subliminal flash. So I don't know if you saw that, but let's watch it one more time. Yep, the classic subliminal skull flash. And of course, if you've watched The Exorcist, you're probably familiar with the demon that is subliminally flashed throughout the movie. I remember watching The Exorcist on a VCR and freezing the tape to see what I was sure I had seen, which was this horrific demon face. The director actually said that he was upset when people could actually freeze the film. Yeah, tidbit. More info on the subliminal demon in The Exorcist in the description below. And so one more technique, which is really simple and effective because it's unsettling, is turning the frame upside down. Just like that. Tip number 5, sound effects. Now, sound effects are great because they are a great way of creating an atmosphere in a trailer. But one thing to be aware of is not to make them too loud in the mix. It can be tempting to have a scream and make it really loud, but it's going to be too much. So, especially if there's a music track as well. So, let's look at some of the effects I have. These are all again from Pond 5. So I've got a few sound effects here. This is the first one. It's a sound of a man heavy breathing. So this is being paired with the running through the forest. So that kind of idea. Next we have a classic female scream, which will pop into the mix at some point. And then we have, this is quite horrific. This is the sound in the description on Pond 5 of a middle-aged man screaming and drowning. So good job to the actor that did that. Let's hope it was an actor. Next up, tip number 6 are titles and fonts. This movie has a name, there's going to be actors in the movie, and there's a production company. So obviously this is a made-up thing. So I've chosen a font that I thought worked well. It's called Bond Schrift. So Bond Schrift, and of course you can choose from all kinds of fonts. But I liked the look of Bond Schrift, and we can have a look at it. We'll play it. Evergreen original series. We have some actors. I went with Chris Pine and Spruce Willis, obviously. And if we move to the end, here's the title of the movie right here. Lost in the Forest. So I fade out the forest, and then I then it goes to black, but the font stays up for a little bit and then fades out. And so fading fonts in and out is very easy in DaVinci. You just use these little white sliders. You can see it coming in, and when it hits here, it'll fade out. Okay, finally, tip 7. Tip 7 is about making choices and not making choices that fit the theme and the tone of the trailer you're making. So just to illustrate this point, remember I had the sunny shot going through the forest, and it doesn't fit. It's a forest, but it's too sunny. So I shot this clip instead, and it's much darker. It's overcast. It fits. So it's worth doing that work to get the right clip. Another thing I had this clip of a medical skull, which I've always had as a prop. It looks great, but you can see it's got hinges and holes in it, and the skull cap comes off. So even though I tried to do a few things with it, like this, just to make it more scary, turned it upside down, turned it green, it still doesn't look right. So I took my medical skull prop, that's hard to say, into the Don Valley here in Toronto as discreetly as possible, and shot this clip of it in the Don River. Interesting, you can see a little spider in the eye, which was kind of lucky. And then actually buried it beside a tree. And obviously this is a much better shot, better than a rotating medical skull. So coming up, the final edit of the horror movie intro. I hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching. I hope you found some of these tips helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. Like, subscribe. Thank you. I found this in the Don Valley too.